disappears. This feels deeper. It feels like the kind of missing that builds quietly day after day, until one day the feeling becomes impossible to carry in silence. The first card appearing here is the Six of Cups. This card immediately brings in memory, sweetness, and emotional longing. This person may be thinking about the simplest moments with you, but those simple moments now feel precious in their heart. A conversation, a laugh, the way your energy made things feel lighter, the way your presence turned an ordinary moment into something warm. The Six of Cups says that what they miss is not only your face or your voice or your attention. They miss how it felt to be around you. They miss the emotional softness that came alive when you were near. The next card appearing here is the Hermit. This tells me these feelings have been growing in private. This person may not have said much. They may have looked quiet, distant, or hard to read. But the Hermit is never empty. The Hermit is full of deep reflection. So while the outside may have looked still, the inside has been active. They have been thinking, reflecting, asking themselves why your energy lingers so strongly in their life. And every time they search for an answer, they seem to come back to the same truth. You mattered more than they admitted. The next card appearing here is the Nine of Cups. This is beautiful because it shows that when they think about you, their heart lights up. There is warmth here, happiness, a sweetness that is not faded. This person may find themselves smiling unexpectedly. When they remember something about you, they may hear your name and feel a shift in their mood. They may look at something ordinary and instantly think of you. The Nine of Cups says your energy still brings emotional pleasure into their world, even from a distance. And that is one of the clearest signs that these feelings are real. The next card appearing here is the Page of Cups. This card feels exactly like the title of the reading. It is the beginning of emotional expression, a gentle offer, a shy but sincere desire to say what the heart has been holding. This person may not know how to come in dramatically, but they may come in honestly. The Page of Cups often shows someone testing the waters with a message that sounds simple on the surface while carrying much deeper feeling underneath it. Something like, "Can we meet?" may look small to the outside world, but in this energy it would hold longing, hope, fear, and tenderness all at once. The next card appearing here is the Moon. This tells me the emotions have become stronger than this person expected. They may not have understood them fully at first. They may have tried to push them aside, explain them away, or tell themselves it was only temporary. But the Moon says the heart does not always reveal itself in clean, logical steps. Sometimes it grows in hidden places first. Sometimes someone only understands the depth of what they feel when the absence becomes too loud to ignore. This person may be realizing that what they are carrying is not confusion anymore. It is missing you deeply. The next card appearing here is the Lovers. This is what makes the reading so powerful, because the feelings are not only sentimental, they are meaningful. The Lover says the bond itself matters to them. There is emotional significance here, a real pull, a real connection. This person may feel that what exists between you is not easy to replace, not easy to forget, and not easy to explain away. The connection may still live in their heart as something important, something alive, something that still asks for a chance to be felt again in the real world. The final card appearing here is the Knight of Cups, and this is where the message becomes very clear. The Knight of Cups is movement from the heart. It is someone finally allowing emotion to come forward, instead of hiding behind silence. This person may be getting closer to the moment where they stop only thinking about you and start reaching toward you. They may want to see you, hear you sit in your presence again, and feel whether the connection is still there in the same living way they remember. So the message of this first part is simple, loving, and very clear. This person misses you more than they have been showing. They have been carrying these feelings quietly. They have been remembering you with softness. And now the heart may be moving toward one honest question. Can we meet? Because sometimes missing someone reaches a point where silence no longer feels strong. Something tender but more urgent is rising in this part of the reading, because missing you is no longer sitting in their heart as a quiet ache. It is starting to become a need to hear your voice, a need to feel your presence, a need to know whether the warmth they remember is still alive between you. The first card appearing here is the Two of Wands. This card shows someone standing at an inner crossroads. One part of them wants to stay silent, to stay safe, to keep everything hidden, to protect themselves from the vulnerability of reaching out. But the other part of them, the more honest part, keeps leaning toward you. The Two of Wands is the moment where someone begins asking themselves, what happens if I do nothing? And that question can become very powerful, because sometimes doing nothing feels easier, until the heart realizes that doing nothing may also mean losing the chance to reconnect with someone who still matters deeply. The next card appearing here is the Eight of Cups. This card says they may have tried to walk away from these feelings. They may have tried to focus on other things. Work, daily routines, other responsibilities, even other people, but the deeper truth is this: their heart never fully left. The Eight of Cups in this reading feels like emotional distance that never became real closure. Time moved, life moved, but the feeling stayed behind where your name still lives, and that is why the missing has become stronger. Now, because what they walked away from physically, they never truly released emotionally. The next card appearing here is the Star. This is such a healing card here because it says that when they think about seeing you again, the emotion underneath it is not only sadness, it is hope. The Star is the card of quiet faith, the hope that something beautiful may still be possible. The hope that the connection is not gone. This person may look back at you as someone who brought peace into their life. Simone, whose energy felt soft, safe, and emotionally genuine. And when someone associates another person with that kind of peace, the desire to reconnect can become almost impossible to ignore. The next card appearing here is the Page of Swords. Now, this card says they may still be watching from a distance, paying attention, wondering what you are doing, how you are feeling. The Page of Swords is curious, restless, quietly focused. So this person may be checking little things more than you realize. Not because they are trying to control anything, but because they miss you and they want some thread, some sign that helps them still feel connected to your world. The next card appearing here is the Nine of Cups. This card confirms again that your energy still creates warmth in them. Thinking about you may still bring a softness to their face, a smile they did not expect. The Nine of Cups says you are not only someone they miss, you are someone who still feels emotionally good in their heart. And that matters because people do not reach back toward what only hurt them. They reach back toward what still feels meaningful, what still feels comforting, what still feels alive. The next card appearing here is the Knight of Cups. This card brings the heart into motion again. The Knight of Cups is someone who does not want to keep hiding forever. Someone who wants to move toward feeling, not away from it. This person may be nearing the moment where imagination is no longer enough, where memory is no longer enough, where they feel the need to create a real meeting, a real conversation, a real emotional exchange. And that is exactly why the title of this reading feels so alive. Can we meet? Because those words may already be forming inside them, not casually, but with longing behind them, with softness behind them, with the secret hope that once they see you again, something in both of you might remember exactly what this connection felt like when it was still close. The final card appearing here is the Ace of Cups. And this is the overflow, the card of the heart becoming too full to stay silent in the old way. The Ace of Cups says love, or at least deep emotional truth, is pressing upward. It wants expression, it wants honesty. It wants to stop hiding behind distance and move toward closeness again. So the message of this second part is very clear. This person is not only missing you, they are beginning to feel that the missing itself is asking for action. Not tomorrow, not someday, but soon, because the heart can only circle the same person for so long, before it finally asks the question it has been holding back: can we meet? And when that question comes, it may carry everything they have been too shy, too tender, and too affected to say directly for a very long time. A softer ache begins speaking here, and this part of the reading feels very intimate. Because now the cards are not only showing that they miss you, they are showing how your absence moves through their daily life. The first card appearing here is the Four of Cups. This card says they may be trying to act normal on the outside while feeling emotionally unsatisfied on the inside. Things around them may continue moving, conversations, work, ordinary routines, but something still feels missing. And the missing part feels like you, the Four of Cups often appears when someone realizes that nothing fully lands in the heart the way it used to. Not because life stopped, but because the person they truly want to connect with is not there. The next card appearing here is the Six of Cups. This card brings memory back in such a tender way. They may keep replaying little moments, a message you sent, a look you gave, the sound of your laugh, the feeling of ease around you. And what hurts is that the smallest memories may now feel the biggest. The Six of Cups says your presence still lives in them as comfort, not just excitement, not just attraction, comfort. The kind that is very hard to replace once it is gone. The next card appearing here is the Hermit. This says a lot of these feelings are still private. They may not be telling everyone how much they miss you. They may not even know how to explain it properly. But in quiet moments when the world slows down, your energy may return to them very strongly. The Hermit is the card of inward truth. And the truth inside them may sound something like this. I still care more than I should. I still miss them more than I admit. I still want to see them. The next card appearing here is the Page of Cups. Now the message becomes even sweeter. Because this card shows the heart preparing to speak, even if it does so gently, this person may not come in with a dramatic speech. They may come in softly, a careful message, a shy question, a small opening, but the Page of Cups says the emotion behind it would be sincere. This is not about games. It is about someone whose heart keeps leaning toward you and who may finally be getting brave enough to show it. The next card appearing here is the Nine of Swords. This card shows how much they are thinking late thoughts, restless thoughts, the kind of thoughts that return when everything else gets quiet. They may wonder if you still think of them, if you would even want to see them, if too much time has passed, if their silence created more distance than they know how to repair. The Nine of Swords says missing you has not been light for them. It has been emotional. It has been mental. It has been the kind of feeling that stays awake long after the room is silent. The next card appearing here is the Two of Cups. And this is what gives the whole reading its heart, because this card says the bond itself still matters. This is not just one person stuck in memory for no reason. This is the energy of a meaningful connection, a connection that still feels alive in the heart, a connection that may still want a chance to meet in the real world again. The final card appearing here is the Knight of Cups, and this card says the longing is moving closer to expression. This person may be getting nearer to a moment where they stop only missing you and start reaching toward you, not perfectly, not loudly, but sincerely. So the message of this third part is very clear. They are carrying your memory in quiet places. They are missing the emotional comfort you gave them. They are thinking about whether seeing you again could soften the ache they have been carrying. And the more these feelings keep circling, the more likely it becomes that their heart will turn all of that longing into one simple question. Can we meet? Because sometimes the missing becomes so deep that the only thing left to do is reach for the person you never really stopped wanting. There is one more layer here, and it feels very human. Part of what may be happening inside them is not only longing, but comparison. They may be comparing every new conversation to the ease they felt with you, comparing every surface interaction to the emotional warmth they remember around you, comparing ordinary company to the way your presence seemed to reach them without effort. And that comparison may be making the missing stronger. Because once someone has known a connection that felt natural, forced closeness with anyone else becomes much easier to recognize. So even if they try to move forward, even if they try to distract themselves, the cards say their heart keeps returning to the same place, not because it is trapped, because it knows where it still feels something real very, very clearly now. A new emotional current moves through this part of the reading, and it feels like longing is beginning to turn into intention. Because up to now, the cards have shown memory, missing, late night thinking, and the quiet ache of emotional distance. But this part feels different. It feels like the heart is no longer only remembering you, it is beginning to move toward you. The first card appearing here is the Chariot. This card speaks of motion, decision, forward energy. The Chariot appears when someone gets tired of sitting still with feelings that keep growing. So this person may be reaching a point where they no longer want to only wonder, no longer want to only imagine, no longer want to only replay the past. They may want to do something. The Chariot says that when emotion becomes strong enough, it starts asking for action. And that action may be simple, a message and attempt, a step closer. The next card appearing here is the Page of Pentacles. This card is gentle, careful, and sincere. It suggests that if this person does reach out, they may not come in with a dramatic emotional speech right away. They may begin smaller than that, a practical reason to talk. A simple check-in, a quiet opening that feels safe enough to step through because the Page of Pentacles does not rush the moment. It wants the connection to feel real, grounded, honest. So if they ask, can we meet? It may sound simple on the surface, but underneath that question may be a deep emotional hope. The hope that seeing you again changes something, the hope that distance softens, the hope that what they still feel is not only living inside them. The next card appearing here is the Star, and this card makes the reading feel tender. Because the Star says that when this person imagines seeing you again, they may not feel pressure first. They may feel relief, the kind of relief that comes when the heart believes healing is possible, when the soul believes reconnection might still exist. The Star is soft hope, not loud, not demanding, just the quiet belief that your presence may still bring peace into their life. The next card appearing here is the Eight of Wands. Now the energy speeds up. This card says that once the silence breaks, things may move more quickly than expected, because sometimes the hardest part is not the conversation itself. It is the first message, the first opening, the first moment where someone finally allows themselves to move. And after that, the emotional current begins flowing much faster. The Eight of Wands suggests this person may already be getting close to that threshold. Close to the moment where they stop only thinking and start speaking. Close to the moment where longing becomes contact. The next card appearing here is the Two of Cups. This card confirms again that the bond still matters deeply. The Two of Cups is not the energy of random missing. It is not nostalgia with no emotional weight. It is connection. The kind that still feels alive, even after silence, the kind that still creates emotional pull, even after space. This person may feel that if they saw you again, the connection would still be there. Maybe softer, maybe emotional, maybe overwhelming, but real. And that belief may be part of what gives them courage. The next card appearing here is the Nine of Cups. This is beautiful because it says your energy is still linked with happiness in their heart. Not only pain, not only longing, happiness too. They may imagine seeing you and immediately feel a sweetness rise inside them, a smile, a warmth, a little emotional lift they cannot fully explain. The Nine of Cups says that even after distance, you still feel good to their heart. The final card appearing here is the Ace of Cups, and this changes everything. Because the Ace of Cups says the feelings are not only surviving, they are rising, becoming more visible inside them, more undeniable, more ready to be expressed. This is the heart filling. And then overflowing, so the message of this fourth part is clear. This person is getting closer to action, closer to reaching out, closer to asking for a real moment with you, closer to turning all this missing into a chance to reconnect. Because at some point, the heart gets tired of carrying love in silence. It wants movement, it wants presence. There is also one more layer here, and it feels important. This person may not only want to see you because they miss you. They may want to see you because part of them believes the truth of the connection can only be felt properly in person, not through memory, not through imagination, in person, where eyes speak, where energy answers, because the longing is no longer content to stay in the heart, it is moving toward the world, slowly, carefully, but truly, at last. Something even more fragile and more honest, rises here because by now the cards are no longer only showing memory or quiet longing. They are showing emotional pressure, the kind that builds inside a person when the heart has been holding too much for too long. And when that kind of pressure rises, it usually begins asking for one thing: a real moment, a real conversation, a real chance to feel the connection again. The first card appearing here is the Knight of Cups. This card says the heart is moving closer to expression, not because the fear is gone, but because the feeling has grown larger than the fear. The Knight of Cups is not careless. It is sincere. It is someone wanting to come forward with emotion, tenderness, and truth. So if this person has been quiet, the energy here says that quiet may be reaching its limit because love does not stay hidden forever when it keeps getting stronger. The next card appearing here is the Ten of Cups. And this card makes the reading feel even more touching because it says this person is not only missing you in a lonely way, they may also be imagining happiness with you. Real happiness, the kind that feels safe, the kind that feels soft, the kind that makes life feel more complete, simply because the right person is near. So when they think about seeing you again, they may not only imagine the meeting itself, they may imagine what could reopen emotionally if that meeting happens. The warmth, the closeness, the feeling of being together without all this distance in the middle. The next card appearing here is the Four of Wands. This card brings the energy of reunion, shared joy, and the simple beauty of being in the same space. Again, the Four of Wands often appears when the heart wants more than a message. It wants presence. It wants to stand in front of the person and feel the connection with no screen, no guessing, no silence blocking it. So this person may be longing for a very real moment with you, not fantasy, reality. The next card appearing here is the Nine of Swords. This card shows the nervousness still living inside them, because missing you is one thing, actually reaching out is another. They may still be overthinking everything. What if you do not answer? What if the timing feels wrong? What if you have already moved on? What if the heart they miss is no longer open to them in the same way? The Nine of Swords says this person may be carrying a lot of emotional tension around the idea of contact. But tension does not erase the desire. If anything, it proves how much this matters to them. The next card appearing here is the Page of Cups. And here, the energy becomes very soft again because the Page of Cups shows the heart trying to speak gently. Not forcefully, not with pressure, but with sweetness. This person may want to approach in a way that feels safe for both of you. A careful message, a small opening, a question that sounds simple but holds so much more underneath it. Can we meet? And in this reading, those words do not feel casual at all. They feel full of longing, full of hope. Full of emotion that has been waiting for a doorway. The next card appearing here is the Moon. This tells me that some of what they feel may still remain hidden. Even if they do reach out, they may not reveal everything right away. They may still be shy, still guarded, still nervous about saying too much too fast. But the Moon does not cancel the feeling. It only tells us that the feeling has been living in deeper places for a long time, and when emotion grows in hidden places, it often becomes even more powerful. The final card appearing here is the Ace of Cups. This is the overflow, the moment where the heart can no longer keep pretending the feeling is manageable. The Ace of Cups is love rising, love becoming visible. Love wanting to move, love asking to be received. So the message of this fifth part is very clear. This person is not only thinking about you, they are moving closer to the moment where they want to ask for something real, your time, your presence, your nearness, because the missing has grown too deep to stay in imagination forever. There is one final layer here, and it feels very beautiful. Part of what may be guiding them towards you now is not only the ache of absence, but the memory of how emotionally alive they felt when your energy was near. Because when someone remembers peace, they begin wanting to return to it. And in this reading, you may still feel like peace to them, which is why the question keeps forming. Again and again and again, can we meet? Not as a line, not as an excuse, but as a real emotional reach toward the person they still miss. Deeply with each quiet day, the urge to see you grows harder for them to resist. Now, everything gathers into one emotional truth. This person is no longer only carrying longing, they are carrying readiness. because there comes a point where missing someone is no longer just a feeling that lives in private. It becomes something that starts pressing against the chest, asking to be spoken, asking to be acted on, asking to be acted on, asking to become real. And that is exactly where this energy feels now. The first card appearing here is the Two of Cups. This card says the bond still matters deeply, not as memory only, not as unfinished curiosity, not as a passing emotional wave. The Two of Cups is living connection. It is the feeling that what existed between two people had truth in it, softness in it, meaning in it. So when this person thinks about you now, they may not only remember the past, they may feel the bond in the present. They may feel that something between you is still alive, still waiting, still asking for another chance to breathe. The next card appearing here is the Knight of Cups, and this is the card that says the heart wants movement, gentle movement, tender movement, honest movement. This person may be getting closer to an emotional decision, not a reckless one, a real one, a choice to stop hiding behind distance and to finally let the feeling move outward. The Knight of Cups is the energy of someone who wants to come forward with sincerity. They may still be nervous, they may still be shy, they may still rehearse the message 100 times before sending it. But the important thing is this: the heart is no longer content to stay hidden. The next card appearing here is the Temperance card. This is beautiful because it says the desire to reconnect is not only intense, it is gentle, balanced, almost healing. Temperance suggests this person may not only want to see you because they miss you. They may want to see you because something about your presence feels calming to their soul, like being near you puts things back into place, like the emotional noise gets quieter, like the heart breathes easier. And once someone has known it, it becomes difficult to ignore. The next card appearing here is the Page of Cups. This returns us to the sweetness of the message. Because for all the depth here, the reaching out may still begin softly. A careful question, a shy opening, a message that seems small, but carries so much feeling underneath it. Can we meet? And in this reading, those words do not feel casual at all. They feel full of tenderness, full of hope, full of fear, full of longing. This person may know that one little sentence could open everything they have been carrying, and that is exactly why it matters so much. The next card appearing here is the Nine of Cups. This card says that seeing you again may already be living in their imagination as something beautiful, something relieving, something that would make their heart feel full again. They may picture your face, your energy, the moment the distance breaks. The moment the silence turns back into presence. The Nine of Cups says this is not only about sadness, it is also about the joy they still connect to you, the happiness your presence once gave them, the happiness they may still believe is possible. The next card appearing here is the Moon. And yes, the fear is still here, the unknown, the vulnerability. The question of what happens after the message is sent. After the meeting happens, after the heart finally stops hiding. The Moon says they may still be scared of your response, scared of getting too hopeful, scared of finding out they still feel everything, scared of discovering that the love is even deeper in person than it has been in memory. But fear does not erase the pull. It only proves how much is at stake emotionally. The final card appearing here is the Ace of Cups, and this is the perfect ending because the Ace of Cups is the heart overflowing, love rising, emotion becoming visible, truth wanting to be offered instead of hidden. This card says the feelings have reached a point where they are no longer shrinking. They are growing, and growth always asks for expression eventually. So the message of this final part is very clear. This person misses you. They miss your energy. They miss the softness of the bond. They miss the feeling of emotional closeness that your presence gave them. And now all of that missing may be turning into one simple, brave, deeply honest desire to see you, to sit with you, to feel the connection again. Toe asked the question their heart has been carrying for longer than they probably admit. Because sometimes love does not disappear in the silence.